Welcome to the deep dive. We love getting into these complex ideas, topics that really twist through history, philosophy, sometimes even, well, destiny. Today, we're tackling a big one, the meaning of history itself. We'll look at it through two really distinct philosophical viewpoints. First, we'll explore how the giant Hegel defined history, and interestingly, how he saw its origins, surprisingly maybe, in ancient Persia. Then we'll jump way forward to the 21st century to look at a contemporary philosopher, Jason Jorjani. He takes Hegel's ideas, these deep insights, and kind of reignites them with a really radical, almost futuristic spin.
Yeah, and what we're really digging into today asks some fascinating questions, doesn't it? Like, what happens when the spirit of Persia, which Hegel saw as the dawn, the sunrise of world history, what if that becomes, in Jorjani's view, its missing future? And how does Jorjani, who focuses a lot on technology, prophecy, this Persian rebirth idea, how does he argue he's picking up a thread of history that got broken?
Yeah.
So our mission today, really, is to pull out the key ideas, the most powerful nuggets here, and help you connect those dots between ancient philosophy and this very bold, modern take on where humanity might be going.
Okay, so let's kick things off. We need to start with Hegel, right? His philosophy of history. It's this grand vision, definitely not just a list of dates and events.
Oh, absolutely not. It's much more dynamic. What's really key, I think, is his concept of history as dialectical.
Dialectical. Can you unpack that a bit?
Sure. Think of it like a constant back and forth. An idea, a thesis, meets its opposite, its contradiction or the antithesis.
Okay.
And out of that clash comes something new, a synthesis. And through this ongoing process, spirit or Geist, as Hegel called it, this sort of universal consciousness, it gradually gets to know itself.
Okay.
And it expresses this growing self-awareness through culture, through politics, different forms. And freedom, this is crucial, freedom isn't just handed out.
Right.
It's something achieved, painfully, often, through huge historical struggles. It's earned, you could say.
So spirit is learning about itself, achieving freedom. How does Persia fit into that huge picture? Because you said he puts it right at the start.
He absolutely does, yeah. For Hegel, Persia is that first flicker. The first time this universal spirit really shows up on the world stage in a universal way. But, and this is the catch, it's incomplete. He thought, okay, the seed of freedom is there this idea that one person, the ruler, the monarch, could be free.
Just the one, though.
Exactly. Just the one. The potential's there, but it hasn't flowered into freedom for everyone. The people, he thought, mainly just obeyed. There was ethical law, sure, but it wasn't self-chosen, not yet self-governed. Like the sources say, Persia is the beginning, but not yet the fulfillment of world history. It plants that seed.
But Europe gets the credit for the harvest, basically.
Pretty much. Europe, in his view, claims to bear the fruit of that freedom seed planted in Persia. And, that specific point really sets the stage for how Jorjani comes back and reinterprets things.
Okay, so that's Hegel. A grand, unfolding story. Spirit moving west, achieving more freedom. But then Jorjani looks at this and says, hang on a minute, something went wrong.
That's exactly it. That's Jorjani's really bold claim. He suggests history took this massive spiritual detour.
A detour.
Yeah. In his reading, Iran, instead of moving along that Hegelian path towards, greater freedom or enlightenment, it got derailed, profoundly derailed. He points to things like colonization by different empires that he argues either didn't get or actively suppressed Iran's own deep wisdom traditions. And he also really focuses on its integration to Islam, which he refers to as a religious totality. He believes this integration significantly altered, maybe even distorted, its original philosophical path, its metaphysics.
So it wasn't just a gradual evolution for Iran, in Jorjani's view. It was more like its unique spirit got buried or sidelined. It became this sort of exotic orient in the Western imagination.
Yeah. Exactly. First romanticized, maybe, then kind of dismissed or misunderstood. So from this perspective, history didn't neatly follow Hegel's dialectical plan. It stalled. It froze, in a way.
Okay, wow. So if history froze, then that synthesis Hegel talked about, that ultimate freedom, maybe it's still out there, still waiting to happen.
That's precisely the implication. And it leads to the next big question. Okay, if history got interrupted, what does Jorjani propose we do about it? He doesn't just, tinker with Hegel's system. No, he radicalizes it, almost turns it inside out. He mixes Hegel's dialectic with ideas from Gnosticism.
Gnosticism, those ancient mystical traditions.
Yeah, exactly. Ideas about hidden knowledge, maybe a flawed reality we need to break free from. He blends that with technofuturism, thinking about technology's role, and also draws heavily on these powerful ancient Iranian archetypes and myths.
That sounds like a potent mix. So if Hegel saw spirit unfolding mainly through states and politics, Jorjani sees something else driving history.
Something much more primal, maybe? He talks about a Promethean will.
Like Prometheus, who stole fire.
Exactly. Defiant, rebellious, bringing illumination, but maybe also disruption. And he talks about needing a Gnostic break, a sharp rupture from what he sees as false systems, false totalities, maybe even demiurgic illusions.
Demiurgic illusions, like a false creator-god idea from Gnosticism.
Right, that kind of concept. It all points, in his view, towards this massive revolution in consciousness, something he thinks is coming, and that it will sweep through both the East and the West. It's not just political change.
So what's the end game then? If it's not liberal democracy or global capitalism, which Hegel's path might seem to point towards, what does Jorjani see?
For Jorjani, the dialectic doesn't just neatly conclude there. He sees those as maybe incomplete or even flawed stages. Instead, it ends, or maybe it restarts is a better word, with a fundamental Promethean transformation of the human being.
A transformation of the human being itself.
Yeah. It's not just about changing our societies. It's about changing what it means to be human, driven by this inner, defiant Promethean fire.
That quote from the sources really captures it, doesn't it? From the logos of fire to the fire of the Logos Jorjani doesn't just return to Persia. He reignites it.
The powerful imagery.
Logos of fire. That sounds like some original, maybe divine principle, truth, order. But then fire of the Logos that feels more active, maybe destructive even. A transformative force. It's definitely not just a dry philosophical point. It feels like a call to rethink everything.
Absolutely. It's a challenge to our whole idea of progress.
So let's just lay it out side by side.
Yeah.
The contrast between Hegel and Jorjani is really stark.
It really is. So with Hegel, you've got spirit or Geist.
Yeah.
You've got the dialectic of freedom unfolding. You've got history as realization.
Right.
And crucially, Europe is fulfillment. History moves west, finds its high point there.
Okay, but Jorjani, he flips that completely.
Completely. He talks about a Promethean will, a Gnostic breakthrough. He sees history as interruption plus fire.
Interruption plus fire. Wow.
And the key location isn't Europe as the endpoint, but Iran as return plus future.
So it's a return, but not like going back in time nostalgically.
No, not at all. It's more like a radical reawakening. Going back to tap into an origin, a potential that he believes never got to fully play out the first time around. His core argument really is that Iran, specifically drawing on its Zoroastrian roots, its Gnostic undercurrents, these Promethean themes, holds the forgotten keys. The keys to humanity's future.
That's a massive claim. It really challenges the standard Western narrative of history, doesn't it? Suggesting maybe the West missed something vital along the way.
It's a profound challenge, yeah.
So this deep dive, it's really taken us on quite a pivot. From Hegel's grand, seemingly progressive unfolding of spirit, starting in Persia, all the way to Jorjani's idea of a rupture, a Promethean break, aimed at a future that sounds radically different.
Yeah, we've definitely opened a door here, and really only just started to peek through at the implications of Jorjani's whole vision. It forces you to reconsider a lot.
It really does, and it leaves you with so many questions, right? Like, what does being Promethean actually mean in this framework, in this world state of emergency he mentions? What's that about? Who are these new magi he talks about? And fundamentally, why Iran? Why does he see that place holding such huge potential, symbolic and maybe real, for some kind of global rebirth?
Those are exactly the kinds of things, the deeper questions we need to get into in our next deep dive. But as we wrap up this conversation, here's something provocative to chew on, maybe something to think about. History isn't necessarily over, maybe. It's just waiting to begin again.